Hello and welcome to the Lingual YouTube channel. Today I'm bringing you another lingual recipe, and it is one that I know you've all been waiting for. And there's a story. There's a story to this recipe because I must tell you that I tried a few different combinations. It is of course Easter coming up, so I wanted to do a lingual version of the hot cross bun, okay? And I have tried I think 4 variations now. And eventually I thought to myself, I'm actually not going to put you girls through kneading and yeasting and waiting for things to rise, because you know why? Lingual recipes are all about simple. They're about easy. And that is, I don't want you guys to spend hours in the kitchen waiting for things to rise, putting in too much work with the kneading, and still the result that I got, it wasn't as good as the real thing. And that is like my motto. It has to be really close to the real deal. Otherwise, you may as well just work in the calories and have the real deal. So what I decided to do was, I also, by the way, put a poll up on Instagram. I said, do you guys want a single serving, or do you like a little portion of a hot cross bun, or do you want something where you're making a couple of them? I actually decided that I'm gonna do 2 versions. If you're watching this one, this is the one where I'm actually making 6 hot cross, wait for it, buffins. Gilan and I have been laughing at the word buffins the whole week. It's basically if a muffin and a bun had a baby, it's a buffin, okay? So these are hot cross buffins. And I actually have also made a hot cross bun recipe, which I'm going to put up on my stories. That is a single serving. It's really quick and easy to make. So I'm not going to do a whole YouTube video on it for you guys. But the one that I'm doing today, why I decided to do the buffin is, number 1, it's really quick and easy to make. Number 2, it tastes pretty much like a hot cross bun, but it is a lot lower in calories as well. The single serving one that I did is really nice and high in protein. But unfortunately, I couldn't get the calories way down because I can't add a lot of egg whites, for example, because you just won't get the texture of a bun. So the one that I did, the single serving, is a lot more bun-like. I think it's just over 200, no, I lie, it's about 160 calories, which is still winning. But the muffins, the hot cross muffins that I'm going to be making today are under 100 calories each. I'll put the calories and macros up on the screen. And again, these are really nice and easy and fab to make any time of the year for a really nice high protein, low cal meal prep idea. I love to have something sweet either in the afternoon or after my dinner, and these are again high in protein. They are totally macro friendly and under 100 calories. And again, one bowl to make it. No kneading, no rising, no fancy shit, wasting our time. Okay, I need to actually put the oven on. So I'm putting the oven on to 180 and we're going to get that going. So always when you're starting to bake, put the oven on first so that it's ready to go once our mixture is done. So let's get into the recipe. Grab your trusty scale, and I'm actually using cake flour today, just the normal cake wheat flour. You can absolutely use oat flour as well. If you don't have oat flour, you can just blend up oats and it will give you oat flour. Why I'm using normal cake flour is the texture is just a little bit finer. By the way, the calories are exactly the same, so there's no problem in using cake flour in your recipes. I'm just choosing to use it because it does make the texture a little bit finer. And we're just going in with 50 grams of our oat flour. My bell's ringing. Let's see who it is. Okay guys, back to the recipe. So we are now going to add some protein powder. The one that I'm using is the Metalab vanilla flavor. This is just the normal vanilla bean bridge. One of my absolute favorites. It honestly tastes like a milkshake. And I have got a discount code for you guys. If you want to try it, it's lingual15, which will get you 15% off. So I've got 45 grams of protein powder that I've already measured out. That's going to be going in. And as you see, there's quite a lot more protein than there is to oats. Well, it's basically the same because I really want these to be nice and high protein. They're going to keep you fuller for a hell of a lot longer. I've got my little recipe here, so I'm just going through all of the dry ingredients. Okay, so now we're going to head in with some baking powder, which is going to give this a little bit of a rise. I don't have a teaspoon on me, but we're going to go for about 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And then we are going to have a bit of salt, which always brings out the flavor, so a pinch of salt. And then, of course, we want these babies to be nice and sweet. So I'm going to use 4 sachets of sweetener for this. The protein powder also does have a bit of sweetness, but you can put in more or less, just depending on how much sweetness you prefer. I like them really sweet. You guys know I love my sweetener. Too much, too much, too much. Okay, and then the key with these hot cross muffins is that we really want to spice them well. So I've got some cinnamon here that I'm going to be using. I really like the cinnamon. It has a really nice strong cinnamon flavor, and I love cinnamon, so I'm going to use a tablespoon of cinnamon. If you don't like it as much, please don't put as much in. And then I'm also going to have a little sprinkle of allspice, which brings a nice little bit of heat. Just a sprinkle of that. I'd say maybe about half a teaspoon, because it is quite a strong flavor. And then just for a tiny little bit of a kick, I'm going to add a pinch of ginger, which also brings a really nice warmth into our hot cross muffins. I don't think I can say muffins every time. I'm actually getting tired of myself, to be honest. And then we can just mix up our dry ingredients a little bit. And then what is going in? Okay, so now we are going to get going with our wet ingredients. And actually, last but not least, which is normally a wet ingredient, you can use just plain vanilla essence, but this is vanilla powder from Woolworths. Guys, put this in your oats. It will change your life. It's so yummy. It's basically like vanilla essence, but it's like the pure vanilla. Love all these little things. Woolies does all the things. All right, wet ingredients. 2 egg whites, which you can crack in. You can also use the liquid egg whites if you prefer. If you are not one to waste the yolks, you can use that. The conversion for yolks to grams, by the way, is 30 grams per egg white. So if you're measuring it out, that would be 60 grams. Okay, then we're gonna go in with some yogurt. So I'm using 100 grams of my glorious gourmet Greek high protein yogurt. This is my absolute best. Sorry, I didn't show you guys. You can find this, just check their website. They've got all of their stockists there. But I am getting mine now from Jackson's, which is amazing because it's on Uber Eats. So I can order it like on the hour. So 100 grams of yogurt. And yogurt in a lot of the protein bake recipes helps a lot to keep the moisture, because a lot of protein bakes, they go quite dry. So that's going to help. And then, of course, this wouldn't be a legal recipe if we weren't putting pumpkin in. So I've got 100 grams of cooked pumpkin, which I have mashed up. Guys, this is going to bring the most amazing texture to our little muffins. And I promise you are not going to taste pumpkin at all, but it is just going to give us some really nice moisture in the muffins again. This is pumpkin that I made last night, and I'm 100% put garlic powder on it. But hey, don't do that. You can just steam your pumpkin and then you can mash it up. I didn't think about that. I was like, let me keep some pumpkin because I'm doing this recipe today, and then I spiced it up. And then I think we're almost done. Okay, so yes, now I have some orange rind. This is actually nachi rind because I couldn't find oranges, but the rind of one orange or a nachi. And then last but not least, we are going to add, this is raisins and cranberries mixed together, just 30 grams. Just going to weigh this out so we can be nice and precise. And of course, you literally do not, if you're not a raisin fan or a cranberry fan, you don't have to add these. A lot of people also like to put chocolate chips. Really making a mess here. They like to put chocolate chips into their hot cross buns instead of raisins. So you are more than welcome to do that as well. And now we are going to go to work and give this a good mix. Okay, so that is our batter ready to go. I have got a 6-pan muffin tin here, which I'm going to spray with my non-stick spray. I actually just got a new one because I use so much of this. So you want to give it a good spray so our muffins don't stick. And then we are gonna fill these babies up. And the smell coming off this batter is so good. It honestly tastes, it smells like the holidays. Because the same sort of holiday flavors you get in like Christmas cake and all of those delicious Christmassy things are actually also what's used in hot cross buns. So you can start off a bit more conservative and then you can fill them up. Oh, I actually forgot that I wanted to do this trick. I was reading about how to make your muffins rise really well in the middle and get that nice high mountain top. And the key is actually to start your oven on a little bit hotter than what the actual temperature should be and then bring it down because that activates the baking powder to get them to rise. So I'm actually going to turn my oven up and let's see if it works. I love a good high muffin. It's like those mug and bean ones that are like mountainous. This bell never stops ringing. Okay, so I'm now gonna pop these into my oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You don't want to dry them out. You just want them to be cooked through to the middle. I'll let you know once they're done exactly what time I had them in there for. And let me tell you, this batter is tasting phenomenal. So once these are done, we're gonna do our beautiful cross on top. We're gonna add a little bit of a glaze. So let's get these into the oven and get them cooking. Okay guys, we are back and a lot has happened since I left you guys and put those hot cross muffins into the oven. As you heard, the doorbell rang. And remember, we had turned it up to 220 so that the middle of the muffins would rise. I then proceeded to chat to the person that was delivering something to me for much too long and I forgot that our muffins were in the oven. But I will tell you that the trick does work because we basically have some, I mean, they look like they have some kind of deformity. So I then decided, okay, these are not looking too cute. I have to scrap this. And I made some more. And by the way, they also did like were very burnt and crispy. Gilana has already eaten a couple of these, as you can see. So I then decided to redo the recipe once again, which are the muffins that we have here. And I took these out like the tiniest bit too early and they were beautiful and big and like had so much rise going on. And then they just shrunk down a little bit. So the tops are not looking too high. And then I didn't do the whole let me put the temperature up either so that they would rise a bit more. But guys, I can't make these again. All I need you to know is that they taste next level like a hot cross bun. My original idea was going to be to do a cross. But sometimes all a face needs is a bit of makeup. And Gilan said that it's actually fine because you guys don't know what a muffin looks like. This is a muffin. It was a muffin, and when they decrease back down, it's a bun. So now we're calling it a muffin. You see? No guys, in all seriousness, you've got to trust me. You've got to try this recipe. But you actually need to leave them in the oven for around 16 minutes to make sure that the rise that we get, and the thing is they are really beautiful and moist. As you see, I've already eaten one. The taste is phenomenal. They're really beautiful and moist, which is also why they don't stay as fluffy as another muffin perhaps would, because when you break into them, you are going to see it's honestly like, you know that the moistness that you get in like carrot cake? That's basically what they taste like. It is so good. So now we're going to make a little icing, which is going to go on the top of these to cover our little wrinkled faces of our hot cross muffins. And we're going to use some Greek yogurt. So I'm going to get about 100 grams of Greek yogurt. And then we're going to add some protein powder to this. And this makes a really yummy icing. You could use this on any kind of cake that you wanted. And you actually don't need a lot. This is my vanilla metal out again. I'm actually going to use half a scoop because it's just enough to give it that nice flavor that we're after. If you like, you can also add a little bit of sweetener in this if you want a super sweet icing. And then you just want to give it a little mix, and before you know it, it will get nice and smooth. So guys, not all recipes go according to plan, even in the legal kitchen. Okay, so now you'll see we have a really nice, beautiful, smooth icing. NB, your protein powder has to taste good. If it doesn't, your icing is not going to be good. Now I've got this is just an oven bag, and what you want to do is you want to get to the corner of it, and then you almost want to hold your hand around it, and then push this over. This is like a makeshift piping bag, and bring your hand through so you've got your little hole there, and then you can spoon your icing in. Then pull it back over, and then you're going to squeeze it down to the corner. So you have yourself a nice little piping bag, and then just grab a scissors. Rather make the hole smaller than too big, otherwise you're going to have less control. And then we are going to pipe these beauties. So I'm actually going to try and do like a circular thing. Let's see if it works. Beautiful. So you want some pressure on the icing so that you have more control. So I'm going to do the rest of these. Okay, and then to top it off, if you want, you can add a little bit of rind, not rind, just adds a little bit of color. It's going to make people think this is carrot cake, but I like how it looks and I love the taste of rind. And there you are, my girls, our beautiful little hot cross muffins that you guys are going to love. I promise you, even though they're not the sexiest looking, they're so tasty. Babe! Baby! Come here, please! Look, I fixed it.
Oh, that looks great.
Galan's been on the muffin journey.
These now are hot circle muffins.
But they taste good, babe.
Hot circle muffins.
Yeah. There's no crosses.
No crosses. There's no muffins either.
Do you want to taste one?
No, I would love to taste one. They look amazing.
Okay, I want to show you guys how delicious they are in the middle. Like, it's so moist. It's like crazy moist. And these are under 100 calories. I'm not going to feed you.
Come on, do it.
I've already eaten one while I was waiting. Because I was trying to justify to myself they didn't look good, but at least they tasted good.
Mm.
Hey?
Mm.
They are so good. There you are, my girls. Your Easter hot cross muffins. Remember to look out on my Instagram page. I'm also going to do the, what do we call it, that one? That's like just like a proper hot cross bun. The protein hot cross bun that I made for you yesterday.
Oh, it's also good.
Which one was better?
They're very different. Different texture, different everything, but they both have like a hot cross bun type of flavouring. They're both great. They're both great.
Okay, so check out that one. It's a lot more sexy looking. And otherwise, enjoy these, darling girls. Hello? Yes? Thank you. A delivery. So deliveries don't stop.